So here are top 5 landing spots if a trade does happen for Jonah Williams. Now, of course, we already know this. Cincinnati's not just going to sit there and take nothing for him, so they're not going to trade him unless they get at least above a 5th round pick, so anywhere from a 2nd to a 4th round pick. My guess right now, based on, listen, analysts are saying he's going to go for 5th round pick, so I've been talking about that. But if they can work out a new deal with him, obviously they have to pay him $12.6 million. Cincinnati could possibly get a 3rd round pick for him. And I think that's really where Cincinnati wants to stay, is a 2nd or 3rd round pick for him. Now, let's talk about these top 5 landing spots. So, obviously, Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears address a lot of needs during their free agency binge, but they failed to fix the offensive line. Justin Fields' style of play naturally invites a lot of pressure. The Bengals need a above-average offensive line if they want a player with this stylistic approach to succeed. Jonah Williams is no superstar, but he'd be a clear upgrade, and entering his age 26 season could be a part of the long-term picture for Chicago. The good thing about a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, like Justin Fields, like Kyler Murray, is because they are so mobile and they do run around the pocket, where they don't just sit there and, just wait for the blocks to set up, pocket passer, is that the offensive linemen a lot of times do not need to be that good. And that's actually a huge W. That's a lot more of a W than people really realize, is that when you have a guy who is mobile, the line has to block, but only for so long. So even a below average offensive lineman, who I don't believe Jonah Williams is a below average offensive lineman. He had a rough season last year, but I think he can definitely bounce back and do really good. I think, personally speaking, that he is in a situation where if he's behind, Justin Fields, he's going to look a lot better than he did sitting, with a pocket passer behind him, right? So this could actually work out very well. Now, here's the downside. Chicago really likes their young left tackle. And they're most likely not going to give up too much value, especially with what Cincinnati's going to want in order to go ahead and get, Jonah Williams. Because first off, again, they have to take on his $12.6 million cap hit for the guaranteed money he's owed. Then they're going to have to work a long-term contract out with him and figure that whole thing out. And if they already like their left tackle, who is really, blossoming into a star, eventually could blossom into a star, they might not be really up for, we'll go ahead and go after Jonah Williams. So I really consider Chicago as not really a possible landing spot. New England is definitely up there. So the Patriots desperately need a good tackle. After signing Riley Reiff and Calvin Anderson, most experts expect the team to move Trent Brown back to right tackle of the offensive line, where Isaiah Wynn could leave them and go to the Cincinnati Bengals. Just saying, I'm just putting it out there. If they want to eliminate the inevitable uncertainty that the position battle would bring, they could just trade for a proven starter in Jonah Williams. New England prefers to operate a quick passing game, which means the offensive line won't need to hold blocks for too long on most plays. You don't need a superstar, you just need someone who's adequate. And this is what I'm saying with Justin Fields' situation. If they're going to throw that ball within milliseconds, hike, throw, hike, quick reads, then Jonah Williams is not bad. He's a really good quarterback for that system. The problem with the Bengals is that they're actually a good offense. And they sit there and Joe makes reads and Joe makes plays and Joe sits back there and you need to protect him, right? If you have Mac Jones, who really is not a good quarterback, and you're just telling him, hey, Mac, hike the ball and look left. Hike the ball and look at this guy. Hike the ball and look at this guy. It makes it so much easier for Mac, and it means Jonah Williams doesn't have to block for too long, so it helps him out in the end. So that would not be a bad pick. Tennessee Titans. The Titans have perhaps the worst offensive line in football last year, but they've not done too much to improve it. And your Dillard is a massive Andre Dillard is a massive risk, and Daniel Brunskill likely figures to be replacement for the departed Nate Davis. Trading for Jonah Williams wouldn't single-handedly fix the offensive line, but it's important to step in the right direction. Obviously, they also lost Taylor Lewan, so it would definitely improve them immensely to get someone like Jonah Williams. And they actually, because of how desperate they are, they might give up a second-round pick for him. So that, and now with them having more salary cap, they might get rid of Derrick Henry. Listen, I know there's talks about Cincinnati getting Derrick Henry. We can only dream, guys. We can only dream. But no, I don't think they're going to get Cincinnati. I don't think Cincinnati's going to get him. But nonetheless, though, Jonah Williams could possibly go to them. That would not be a bad player. The Saints. The Saints' offensive line struggled in 2022 without Teron Armstead. First round draft pick Trevor Penning spent most of the season battling injury and didn't look particularly great when he was on the field. While it's far too early to give up on his whole entire career, the Saints might have a better backup plan than James Hurst. Acquiring Jonah Williams gives the Saints more flexibility around the offensive line, and cutting Hurst would save $4.7 million in cap space. Another second-round pick guy. KC. Oh, that would be so ironic. That would be so ironic. Now, they did sign a left tackle, I believe. Yeah, so they signed a left tackle. The Kansas City Chiefs decided to part with Leonard Brown and move forward with Juwan Taylor as their left tackle of the future. It's an interesting move. Yeah, so... Okay, so they're saying this is... but it's a major risk to assume that Taylor can make the transition. So they would make him left tackle, gave him left tackle money, move him to the right side, and bring in Jonah Williams. I don't like that. I don't like that for the Chiefs, and I don't think that's smart for the Chiefs, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to do that. So I'm not even going to entertain that one. So now let's listen to the offensive lines coach, Frank Pollock, acknowledge that he heard about Jonah Williams asking for a trade. Let's listen up.
Yeah, we've reached out to Jonah. I reached out to Jonah, and I don't want to really spend a lot of time talking about that. I mean, I love to coach Jonah. I love coaching him, and there's an old saying that this is a great game and a crazy business, and I hope we get to coach him. He's a good football player. He's got a bright future, and hopefully it's still here with the Bengals in 2023.
As he said, hopefully he is still with the Bengals. Because there's still a possible chance that the Bengals can't trade him. And, they kind of say, hey, listen, Jonah, if you want a paycheck, you're going to have to play right tackle. And we don't really care. And that's very possible. That's a very likely scenario that ends up happening. Where it's just like, listen, if you want to be a Bengal, if you want to play anywhere, you're going to have to play as, right tackle for us, because that's the position that we need you to play. So that's, again, like I said, that's very possible, ends up happening. Again, I know that's not, in the cards that Jonah wants, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. He is still contracted under a team. So let's actually go with the Tennessee Titans. I think because, they have the highest, so let me check, actually. So Titans, I'm going to guess Titans trade a second round pick, and same thing with New England. Where the Patriots at? Patriots. Right there, 14. Ooh, okay, so they have 46 and 73. And then the Titans have 41 and 72. Alright, my guess is, I'm going to guess they give up a third round pick for him. I was going second, but I think it's going to be a third. I don't think they're going to give up a second. They might. They definitely might. But let's say 45% chance this will be accepted. It's kind of funny. We're going to force this trade just because in real life, things don't always, make sense. Let's be honest. But sometimes it works out. All right, so the first pick here, now you got rid of Jonah Williams. Again, this is if they do not sign a right tackle. They do not sign, anybody. They don't sign anyone else this offseason. I love Michael Mayer. I've talked about how he's a god-tier option in Cincinnati. Same thing with, my man's Donnell Washington. But if you don't have a right tackle, you're not going into next season with Cody Ford your right tackle. Okay, you can't. You need a right tackle. That's where you either go with Antoine Harrison or DeJuan Jones. I go Antoine Harrison. I make him right tackle. Now you have a franchise right tackle. That's kind of how I'm looking at that. Again, if I'm being realistic as crap, that's how I'm looking at it. I would love to say Michael Mayer or Darnell Washington. But if you guys sign Isaiah Wynn, then we're talking about those two guys, right? But if you don't sign Isaiah Wynn, you got to get the best position possible. All right, so second round, I'm going again. Probably, be honest with you, I kind of looking toward. I don't know, guys. I feel like I can get Cole Brooks and Bowling Green early in the third, especially that situation. I might go running back. So Zach, Tank. I like Tank the best, personally. And now you have an early second round pick. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is this, right? I don't really like Garrett Williams. I really don't. I really don't like him. I know he could be a good replacement. Is uncoachable. What Williams has uncoachable, a top 5 corner in his class, mirroring ability alone. Again, he's good because of his ability. I don't really care about ability that much. I'm going Call Up Books with Bowling Green, right? Yes. I'm going to let a couple running backs drop off the board, and I'm going to go Tank. I probably should have went Zach with that second round pick. I like Tank better, so that's just a personal bias there. Then I'm going to go with Tre'Davious Hodges in the third round here. I'm surprisingly enough, this is like my first draft I actually went with Tank, which is so surprising because if you guys know anything about this channel, I absolutely freaking love Tank going to Cincinnati. So it's kind of funny how this is like the first time I'm actually having him there. In the fourth round here, I'm going to have them take a safety. I'm going to go safety over... Actually, Moro Jabba was already off the board anyway. So I'm going to have them go with a safety here, Ronnie Hickman, who I think actually could be an absolute monster for you guys. And then fifth round, I know he's going to be off the board. When did he go off the board? That's my question. Tight end, is he off the board? He's still on the board. Wow. Josh Wiley. We're going to take him in the fifth round. We never get him in the fifth round. This might be a magical draft, guys. If you guys know anything about my drafts, usually Wiley always goes in the fourth. And I always miss him. All right. Sixth round, I'm probably going with... Okay, so Quindell Johnson is going. He's a late fifth. So this one, he actually went in the sixth round. Couple picks, man. Freaking the Brownies, bro. I hate the Brownies. All right, let's go with Owens here. Another safety. Could be a really solid safety for the Bengals here. And our last pick, I'm probably going... Let's see. I don't really want to go Muhammad here, because I do want to go another tight end. We only have one tight end on the roster now. I'm probably going with... Ooh, I don't really like any of these tight ends. I forgot how bad tight ends get in the seventh round. Ooh, I don't mind this guy just because of his run blocking ability. Maybe give him as just a run blocker. Wiley could be your vertical threat, and then you bring in someone in free agency, or you trade for somebody. I'm probably going Noah then. I think he has the most upside. Alright, so here's what our draft looks like. Yeah, you gave me a D+ for Tank. Going with Call Books in the second round is an absolute L. Because he's a third round pick. Third round, fourth round pick. So I really just over jumped for him for no reason. I don't know why I jumped so high for him. That was definitely an L for me. Josh Wiley in the fifth round. Actually, I think that's not D+. That's better than that. Yeah, all my picks are good. Tank in the third round is actually not that bad. Tank is a third round pick. The Call of Books was absolutely an L for me. But like the guys on the board, I didn't like anyone else on the board. And I feel like if you're Cincinnati here, you're not going to take nothing, man. You're going to take the best player available. And at that time, it looked like it was Call Books and Bowling Green. But again, yeah. Is that kind of an L? A little bit. I feel like I could have went a little elsewhere and probably did better there. So definitely something looking back, I probably would not have taken Call Books and Bowling Green there. But again, I also tried to kind of force that, I kind of forced that Tank pick. I could have went, honestly, what I should have went in the second round there, I should have went with Zach. I should have just said, taking the L on Tank there, taking Zach, dropped the Call Books and Bowling Green in the third round. I should have just flipped those 2 picks, and that probably would have been a better option there. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.